twatahire mai ta mĩaka 30 kuma kũgĩa twana na harĩa ndagĩrire ndigiri na mai gũtaha ũguo na ndigiri mĩaka 30 magia hau rĩ ke njuge thĩna wa mai gũkũ niĩ ndĩwonete mĩaka mĩingĩ mũno tondũ na mai kuonania makĩgĩa mũberethi ndĩronire maya ma Kikuyu nĩtũgereire mathĩna maingĩ mũno makoniĩ mai na rĩu nĩtũrakena nĩ tondũ Ngai nĩatũririkanĩte mbere na Kikuyu water.
The World Water Day is marked on March 22nd every year to celebrate water and also to raise awareness of the global water crisis. This year's theme for the World Water Day is groundwater, making the invisible visible.
Many people really think water comes from tap, but water doesn't come from a tap. It comes from the rivers that are from, it's a whole chain. Also establishing the correlation between why I don't have water in the tap and trees that are cut up in Kinale.
Groundwater is fresh water from rain that soaks into the soil, which is then stored underground. It supplies a large proportion of the water we use for food production and industrial processes, and it is also critical to healthy functioning of ecosystems such as wetlands and rivers.
People do not give attention to the groundwater because they don't see it. Sometimes, and this is in human nature, when you don't see something, you don't have interest in it. We want also to create awareness about, in terms of about the groundwater. How can we protect those groundwater? How can we recharge? In fact, I've been looking forward to recharging those groundwater so that we can secure it and it can continue providing water to our people.
According to the 2019 national census, Kiambu County boasts of a total population of 2.4 million residents. The expensive Kiambu County that spans 12 constituencies is served by 7 water companies. These are Thika, Ruiru, Juja, Gatundu, Kikuyu, Limuru, Githunguri and Karura water companies. These water provision companies have to dig deep to satisfy the water needs of a county that covers both city and rural areas.
We are seeing the levels of our boreholes going down. We are also seeing the levels of our dams going down. So if we don't conserve our catchment areas, the future generations may not have enough water.
It's quite a challenge managing boreholes. One, the cost of electricity is very high.
Sometimes it becomes difficult to meet our power bills, and now that we cannot just sit on our challenge, we have come up with ways of reducing our water costs by bringing in the cheaper energy. We have currently piloted 2 number solar systems in our boreholes. They have worked for us very well, and with that, now we are upgrading. We have just finished the designs of 11 more boreholes, and in the next 3 months, half of our production will be done through the solar.
When it rains, we have another problem of siltation. Our rivers carry a lot of silt loads. So these are the challenges, and when we have those kind of silt loads, we normally use a lot of chemicals.
The quality of water has been affected mostly because of the issues of pollution, the car washes. There is also some industries that might be washing their waste into the river, making the quality of the water to be compromised.
Our water production is currently is about, on average, 39,000 meter cubed per day compared to 56,000 meter cubed a day demand that we have. So of course we are running on a deficit.
Despite the numerous challenges, these water companies, with the assistance from the Kiambu County government, work hard to ensure Kiambu residents have access to clean water and sanitation in accordance with the Sustainable Development Goal number 6.
We are aiming to cover more than 80% of our people in terms of water in Kiambu. So far, I can say that we have been able to cover like 65%. That is 1.7 people or residents out of 2.5 million.
From the time the company was incorporated in the year 2006, our customer base has grown from 2,000 to about 10,500 currently. Our coverage has also grown from about 15% to the current 67%. The hours of service have also improved from 8 hours to the current 19 hours.
We are getting a sewer system because one of the challenges that is being experienced in areas like Ruaka is that you find that the septic tanks which are there, one, there's a risk of polluting the underground water. Secondly, is that some people, due to high cost of exhausting, they normally try to release the sewer at night.
Women are saving on time. They don't have to spend a lot of time. Girls can now go to school. People are more healthier. And you can also use water to do your small gardening and crops. So water has been a great flagship, and I'm very happy.
For Kiambu County residents, the glass of water supply is definitely overflowing.
Saa hii venye Kawasco iliungana na county government, maji huko hatuja ikosa. Inakujanga throughout. Ukifungulia tap maji iko hapo. Hakuna ile hassle ya kwenda kutafuta maji.
Huwa tunashughulika na mambo ya kulisha nguruwe, kufunga nguruwe, ufungaji wa nguruwe. Na huwa tunatumia hii maji ya Limuru Water, na hii maji imetusaidia sana. Juu huwa tunaitumia kwa kulisha nguruwe. Huwa tunatumia pia kwa kuosha hiyo nyumba yenye mahali nguruwe wanaishi.
Tulikuwa na shida sana ya maji kitambo kabla Kiambu Water haijaanza kutuletea. Tulikuwa tunaenda Riara na unachoka juu unaenda unarudia. Ukiwa na wanyama kama ng'ombe, kuku hivi unachoka sana. Juu utaenda na urudi mpaka wakati utapata ya kutosha. Mabadiliko ni mengi. Juu kwanza haiishi, haina rationing. Wakati wowote utapata maji. Tusijawahi kosa tangu tuanze kutumia hiyo. Na imetusaidia sana. Kwa usafi, kwa kunywa, kula, kila kitu.
I can say we've been great beneficiaries of the water from the Council of Limuru, because our processes like the extrusion process and when you start with the porridge also process, we do need a very clean source of water, again in terms of making sure we are complying with the standards of the international organizations. So you have to make sure that the water is clean and it's readily available. Sometimes we do get big orders whereby you have to at least have a constant supply of water. And I can say that we've been very lucky to have Limuru Water Company for giving us a very good constant supply of water.
We've been using water from Kawasco, and we are happy with the services. You can't run a hotel without water because of the cleanliness. You need to have our dishes clean, need to have our place clean, otherwise we won't get any licenses from the public health.
The only source of water that we have here is the Nguru Water Company. They are the ones who supply us with water. And since we are high volume, we consume a lot of water, and we have never lacked water here, because water is very important in a facility because of hygiene. And of late, because you know we have COVID pandemic, they have frontiered to give us they have given us a source of water for hard wash for patients, which we don't pay for it.
We get our water from Karori Water. We have had a cordial working relationship with Karori Water, because you can imagine with the type of population in this school, we normally consume a lot of water. They have served us well. Our working relationships, as I said, has been cordial. Actually, the management of Karori Water is a phone call away.
Nĩ wĩra ũyũ tondũ nĩ wĩra ona ndendia maĩ raithi andũ nĩ mahotaga kũgũra maĩ maingĩ na ngona kĩndũ gĩakwa gĩa kũrĩa tondũ maĩ twendagia thogora ũcio hau mũrango-inĩ hau mũtũngi ũyũ nĩ ciringi 2 ũrĩa wa mburu nĩ ciringi 3 Rĩu ngona na andũ nĩ magũraga maĩ maingĩ mũno na andũ magakena itũra rĩrĩ na gũtirĩ mũndũ ũnegenaga nĩ maĩ, na niĩ ngakorwo njokeirie Ngai ngatho nĩ ũndũ wa county government na GROUNDWATER nĩ gũkorwo ndĩ o mũkũrũ na mationaga ndĩ mũkũrũ tondũ nĩ ndutaga wĩra ũrĩa kwagĩrĩire.
With the twin dark clouds of climate change and global warming hanging threateningly ready to rain on the parade of success of the Kiambu water providers, conservation has taken an even bigger role towards sustainably managing the previous resource that is groundwater.
We have water because our forefathers probably maintained the nature the way it was. But if we continue destroying our forests and not reforesting, then it means we are making our land a desert, and there will be no future for our generation.
It's our business to conserve the water sources. And number two, it is also our duty to ensure whatever water source is available, we ensure it is not contaminated. Because water is life, and global warming is affecting and threatening sustainability of water sources.
Unless we do conservation measures upstream, because our water, the water that feeds the dam, it is underground water. If we don't do conservation measures, we will not have water to supply to the people. So the climate change is real. It is also affecting our boreholes. We have worked with Warma. They have put 2 monitoring wells to see how the levels are going down, so that we are prepared on what is happening globally, and we need to work on that.
Mvua ikiingia tutapanda miti, hasa hiyo babu ndio tunataka kupanda ili kushikilia udongo huo sije ukateremka kule na uharibu mifereji yetu.
Water is finite. Water is something that you can count, and there will come a time when, like in South Africa, when we are saying that we have a day zero. We should take all efforts to conserve what we can. Let us partner, let us educate the community, let us educate our people, our consumers and all, so that they know that whatever we are taking today might not be there tomorrow.
People don't realize the effects of not conserving until it's too late. You don't realize the effects of cutting down a tree. Maybe 5-10 years to come is when you realize the problem. So that's one of the challenges. So bringing that notion for companies to understand the importance of also participating in that, and also for other agencies that are in water to understand the importance of participating in that has always been a challenge.
We are coming up with innovations, and I'm so thankful to His Excellency the Governor and the Kiambu County Assembly, because we were able to pass the bill recently in terms of climate change.
To keep the water flowing, it is critical that the Kiambu water companies, Kiambu residents, as well as the Kiambu County government walk the conservation talk.
We have the water companies. Those ones are very important because as long as they are planting the trees along the riparian, in the wetlands, and also in the catchments, we'll have the flow of water.
Our interventions have mainly been on the catchment protection in terms of reforestation, where we are planting the indigenous trees and also fruit trees along the water catchment areas. We have also been working on a desiltation of especially of our water intakes. Due to high level of cultivation on the river bends, you find that a lot of water, a lot of soil ends up in the river in the form of siltation. So the capacity to store water also goes down. To counter this, we have been working on also desiltation.
As a company, we take conservation measures seriously because we realize if we do not do that, then the water resource is dwindling. So we partner with our stakeholders, mainly the industries. We partner with the 12th Battalion, industries like Bidco and others to plant trees. And even we also partner with the county government to ensure that conservation measures are done particularly planting of trees. We have a target of planting 5,000 trees every year.
As Loilo Juja Water and Sewerage Company, to show our commitment to conservation, we have started coming up with a tree nursery. The objective of this tree nursery is to ensure that we are able to produce seedlings that are acclimatized to the environment of Loiro and the surrounding.
Once you give a child a tree, it will nurture it and it will grow with that passion of planting trees, and it will also encourage the community members to do the same. So if you start early, the kids will be the conservators of the future.
We have been working on, especially leaving the taps learning. That is something that we normally address, especially at the assembly. Prudent use of the resource, because as you know, we don't have a lot of water. So this is something that we educate all our stakeholders on, so that we are able to save water. Again, we have installed 3 taps, 3 tanks. We have 3 of them, capacity 10,000 liters. So we normally have a reserve for the rainy days, and I think they have served us well so far.
Groundwater is invisible, but its impact is visible everywhere, every day. So, as we celebrate World Water Day and even beyond, it is important that we protect groundwater, the hidden treasure that supports our lives.